Okay, Randy, we're back here at the Port Royal Speedway. The cars are out on the track, and we're getting ready to go for the first leg of tonight's Twin 20 event here at Port Royal Speedway. We'll give you the starting lineup. Starting on the pole in car number 28G out of Harrisburg will be Joey Gravino, and alongside him, last week's flip victim, in the Roy Morrill Hardy's number 880 will be Scott Tobias.
Row number 2 on the inside, and at third starting position in car number 7E is Darren Eash, and alongside him in car number 17E is brother Chris Eash.
Next row back on the inside in car number 7 will be Paul Lotier, and alongside him out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, driving the Weichert's Livestock, number 29, Doug Wolfgang.
Row number 4 on the inside in car number 88 is Maynard Yingst, and alongside Maynard in car number 77 is Keith Kaufman.
Next row back inside, and the number 33 will be Smokey Snellmaker, and alongside him will be Bobby Weaver in car number 16.
Okay, 6th row on the inside in car number 85 is Craig Eschenauer, and alongside him in car number 66 is Roger Fickett.
Making up the 7th row inside, and that 13th starting position will be car number 10 of Joe Treader, and alongside him in car number 2 will be Ed Lynch Jr.
8th row on the inside in car number 24, first appearance this year, Johnny Zentner, and alongside him in car number 53 is Tom Chiapelli.
Making up the final row of the star-studded field in car number 12 will be Mick Wary, and alongside him, starting in that scratch position, will be the number 4 of Dave Harrell.
Okay, this time Flagman Bob Hockenberry signals to the driver one more lap, and we'll be going racing here at the Port Royal Speedway in this, the first leg of the Twin 20-lap events.
Boy, I'll tell you, Randy, if we're in store for anything like we saw last year in the Twin 20s, we're in for a good one here tonight.
I'll tell you, last year, after the Twin 20s were over, my voice was not the same for about 4 days.
I know what you're saying. Mine was the same way. Let's see what happens here. Joey Gravino's your pole setter. He has enough smoke to possibly take the lead here, although he has Scott Tobias right on the outside of him, and that's going to be tough.
I wouldn't bet on this at all. Who's going to lead?
Oh, here they come off turn 4. Starter Bob Hockenberry waves the green flag, and we're underway. Everybody storms down the front section into turn number 1.
And it is Scott Tobias on the outside. Darren Eash runs second. Joe Gravino relegated to that 3rd position. And look at Keith Kaufman all the way up from the 8th starting position.
Keith Kaufman on the move here. He didn't do that much in the heat races, but he's got that number 77 hooked up here in the feature.
And Kaufman moves into that 3rd position now, and he'll set his sights on Darren Eash. Doug Wolfgang also passes Joe Gravino and moves into 4th.
Right there is Doug Wolfgang on your screen as he will be trying to close it up on Keith Kaufman as they head through turns 3 and 4. Here comes your leader, Scott Tobias, in the Roy Morrill Hardy's number 880.
And so far, Darren Eash unable to move up at all. Scott Tobias doing a fantastic job rim riding and John the track beginning to dry out a little bit.
That's right, Randy, and you know, this is a short race, only 20 laps, so you don't hold back, you go all out all the time. Here comes your leader, Scott Tobias. He's got Darren Eash all over him now.
And now, as you mentioned it, Dawn, Darren Eash right up on the rear bumper of Scott Tobias. Keith Kaufman runs 3rd, Doug Wolfgang 4th, Joe Gravino 5th, Chris Eash is 6th.
Getting into some lap traffic now as they head through turns 3 and 4. They're putting the number 10 of Joe Treader a lap down. Here comes your leader, Scott Tobias.
Okay, Darren Eash glued to the rear bumper of Scott Tobias. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to pass Scott Tobias on the outside. It's going to have to be on the inside.
Well, that's for sure, Randy. Darren Eash, he's been riding with a lot of aggression here in 1986. Can he get by Scott Tobias and pull off his first feature win?
John, it seems as though these drivers are actually pulling away from Keith Kaufman and Doug Wolfgang.
I'll tell you what, Randy, Wolfgang and Kaufman have not narrowed the gap any here on our 2 front runners, Scott Tobias and Darren Eash. We see him now up in turns 3 and 4. Right there's Scott Tobias, your leader. Right there's Darren Eash. He's easily within striking distance, Randy.
He certainly is, John, and he's going to try to capitalize on any mistake that Scott Tobias might make. An awful lot of lap traffic out there right now. They're going to be getting into it very soon here. Let's see what happens. We'll stay right with the leaders.
Right here's where all that driving skill will pay off. Scott Tobias, he's a veteran. Darren Eash in his sophomore year here in sprint car racing.
And now Darren Eash down on the inside. They're in that lap traffic pretty heavily. And Scott Tobias prevails.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Scott Tobias has it. Darren Eash goes into the lead.
And here comes Keith Kaufman also. He'll take over 2nd position. John, something may have happened to Scott Tobias' race car.
He's slowing down, Randy. Doug Wolfgang now moves by. A tough break for Scott Tobias.
Very tough break. Now Scott Tobias back up in the groove, beginning to wonder whether something actually did happen to Scott's machine at that point in time.
And I'll tell you what, Bobby Weaver having his problems as his car jumped out of gear the last time by. He's back underway. Here comes your leader now, Darren Eash. Right in behind that lap car, Randy.
Holy mackerel, the lap cars once again running right out where they shouldn't be.
Darren Eash is going to have to calm down now, Randy, and use his head out there. He's got a comfortable lead so far. He can't make any mistakes because here comes Keith Kaufman.
Okay, Darren Eash in the lead. Right there he goes by. Trying to get that lap car to move over again, but he will not do it. Doug Wolfgang has to duck to the inside.
All the Doug Wolfgang fans are on their feet here. They're cheering, waving him on, trying to hope that he closes the gap here on Kaufman. Here comes your leader, Darren Eash, off turn number 4.
Okay, and Darren Eash now moving up behind car number 33, Smokey Snellbaker. He'll be putting Smokey a lap down, and John, you don't see that very often. These front runners are really flying.
That's for sure, Randy. Now Darren Eash working on Smokey Snellbaker. As they come off turn 4, he'll be trying to put Snellbaker a lap down. Here comes Keith Kaufman off turn 4. Here comes Doug Wolfgang.
Okay, now Darren Eash jumps to the inside of Smokey Snellbaker, and he gets by him cleanly. Now runs right up to the top of the racetrack. Keith Kaufman just about the same distance behind.
Well, you know, Randy, last night Doug Wolfgang said that Darren Eash was certainly destined to win some features. Could it be tonight, Randy?
Let's hope so. I'm really pulling for this young man to pick up his first victory of the year.
It'd be nice to see him getting up in a winner's circle, that's for sure, Randy. He's got a good opportunity here. Let's hope that he can get through this lap traffic.
Okay, he's in the clear right now. Doug Wolfgang still runs third. He moves down on the inside of Smokey Snellbaker now. Comes by very cleanly. There you see Darren Eash.
Darren Eash driving a very intelligent race so far, Randy. He's using that cushion. He's got a lot of power. Keith Kaufman has not closed the gap. As a matter of fact, Darren Eash is pulling away from Keith Kaufman.
And you know, John, the difference between third and fourth position is a half a lap right now. Doug Wolfgang is in third. He's a half a lap ahead of the 880 of Scott Tobias.
Well, I'll tell you, these front three have really blitzed the field here at Port Royal Speedway tonight. We got a yellow. Actually, Chris Eash bringing out the yellow flag over on turn number 2.
Boy, I hope
Darren swings around a little bit to the left.
Right there, I believe. Against that building to the right, Pat, just a little bit.
Okay.
Right there on the right.
Camera lady zooming in there on Chris Eash. And isn't it ironic that Darren Eash's teammate, his brother, brings out the yellow?
I know that if that was my brother, I'd say, oh, why did you do that? Because now that's going to put Keith Kaufman right on my rear bumper. I've got a sweat now because Kaufman is one of the most alert race drivers on a restart, probably in the history of the sport.
That's for sure. And if Darren Eash can maintain his poise here and not get too excited. I'll tell you what, last week, Randy, when Scott Tobias was leading Keith Kaufman, on that restart that enabled Kaufman to get up beside him, the way that happened, and I talked to Keith Kaufman this week, just a couple nights ago, Keith said that what Scott done was he tramped the throttle too hard coming off turn 4 on the restart.
Lit up the tires.
These cars are so overpowered, Randy, that if you tramp that throttle too aggressively, you can actually light the tires up and allow the second place car to pull up alongside, and that's what happened last week. Will it happen here tonight? We'll have to wait and see. We'll be back with the exciting restart right after this. Okay, we're back here, Randy, for this exciting restart. Darren Eash has been leading Keith Kaufman. Hey, look at Doug Wolfgang. He's up alongside Kaufman.
And look at that good jump that Darren Eash got. He has no sweat this time, John.
Here they come off turn number 4. Darren Eash still your leader. Lotier moves up a couple spots, Randy, and the yellow's back on. A false start, possibly. Well, they may not have liked that start, although the front 3 cars actually come off turn 4 in their proper positions. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here. We'll be back with, hopefully, a good waving green flag after this. Okay, we're back here, Randy. Actually, the number 16 of Bobby Weaver ducked into the pits. They got the gate shut. He's going to have to set out this one. Here they come off turn 4. Once again, Darren Eash with a good jump. Here they come off turn 4.
We're going to have to predict that if Darren Eash can maintain this little bit of poise he has, he's going to come away with a big victory here.
Oh, we got Maynard Yink sideways down in turn 2.
Nearly turned over, but Maynard
He just did a 360. He caught the hub rail with the front of the car. He's lucky that nobody collected him. I'll tell you, the real benefactor in this situation is Bobby Weaver, Randy.
He didn't lose any laps at all there. He had pulled into the pits on the last yellow.
Right there he is on the screen. Now they're going to get a push truck in there, and Bobby Weaver with a tremendous break, he's going to make the event. Okay, we'll be back with yet another restart right after this. Okay, Randy, we're back here. Darren Eash has been leading this 20-lap sprint car feature. Can he lead the remaining laps here? Once again, he tramps on the throttle. He seems to be doing everything right up there on those restarts. Here they come off turn 4.
An awful lot of jockeying back through the pack now. Doug Wolfgang makes a move on the inside of Keith Kaufman, but to no avail. Darren Eash pulls away. He has a good 5-6 car length lead on Keith Kaufman. 5 laps to go in this event.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Darren Eash can just hang on here, he stands an excellent chance of winning tonight. Here comes Keith Kaufman and Doug Wolfgang.
Well, there's definitely no doubt about it. Darren Eash has the fastest machine on this racetrack. He's leading 2 of the great veterans of this sport. Darren Eash, I'm sure, is going to come away with this victory, barring some incident.
Well, let's hope he can hold it together, Randy. Here he comes off turn number 4. Here comes Keith Kaufman and Doug Wolfgang. They still run second and third. Smokey Snellbaker has moved all the way up to that 4th spot. Or check that. Snellbaker's left. Tobias runs 4th.
Okay, Tobias is 4th, and I believe we have Joe Gravino in that 5th position.
Okay, here they come off turn 4. 2 laps to go on Darren Eash.
All right, Darren Eash on his way here, ladies and gentlemen.
Can he hold it together, Randy? He's down in turn number 2. A lap and a half to go for Darren Eash.
I mean, Darren Eash has almost a straightaway lead now on Keith Kaufman and Doug Wolfgang.
I'll tell you what, the fans are really eating this up. They like Darren Eash. They want to see him win tonight.
1 lap to go on Darren Eash.
Will record his first victory here at the Port Royal Speedway.
We'll keep the camera right with Darren as he heads around on his victory lap.
Starter Bob Hockenberry getting ready to wave the checkered flag. Here comes Darren Eash in the E&G Classics number 7. He's where it is. He actually stuck his left hand out the window of that car.
And I also noticed, John, that a lot of his pit crew were already headed for victory lane. Tremendous victory for Darren Eash. Okay. Finishing second in car number 77 is Keith Kaufman. Third goes to 29 of Doug Wolfgang.
Scott Tobias will take that 4th spot. And then it's Joey Gravino, Paul Lotier, and I believe Maynard Jinks.
Okay, that's our top finishers here. Darren Eash with a tremendous victory.
Okay, Darren Eash rolls that E&G Classics number 7 into victory lane for the very first time here at the Port Royal Speedway. He has to be super elated, Randy. Look at that. He is wound up here tonight. The fans are going crazy here. We're going to switch it down to the winner's circle. This ought to be a tremendous post-race interview, Randy.
Oh, boy.
Darren, hello.
How's it doing?
I'm
great.
fine. How about you?
Finally. I've been waiting a long time for this, especially here. I knew it was coming. I felt really good. I beat some good guys.
Hey, I want to tell you something. You had Keith Kaufman and Doug Wolfgang finishing second and third. You didn't beat them much better than that.
They're the 2 best. There's no doubt about that. And then 1 for me.
1 for you. Were you hearing any funny noises or anything like this in the car?
I wasn't listening. I was just holding on the floor and around the track.
I noticed some smoke coming off the left of this. I don't know if it's some smoke coming out of the back end of this thing somewhere.
I don't mind the smoke as long as I end up here.
As long as you end up here. I was talking about you before the feature. Of course, we all remember that right rear flat last year.
Yeah, it was a tough one. You try and you try every week, you know, and that's just one of them things. That's part of learning. I like to say something. I got to owe a lot to my dad, Dennis, everybody that helps on the race car. They do so much for me. There's no way I could repay them, and I really appreciate it.
I'm sure you do. Gift for you from Lorenz Cornadelli, a gift for you from Stop 35, and where's Fred?
Thank you.
Oh, don't thank me. Here's the man with all the goodies. Miller American Racing hat.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Darren. It was a great race.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I think the old saying, like Alabama would say, there's going to be a party.
Yeah, there's going to be a party tonight, no doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question. Did you enjoy that race?
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thanks.
Okay, Darren Eash, I'm going to get a word with dear old dad here. Go up there and get your picture taken.
Thank you.
Dave, how do you feel? You're standing here like in disbelief.
Well, feels real good. Last week, Darren, when they had the first caution in the feature, he told us he was going to see us in Victory Lane, but he was a week late, but better late than never, I guess.
You know, I remember, I think up at Syracuse a couple of years back, I asked you which one of your boys is going to hit Victory Lane first at Port Royal, and you just looked at me and shrugged your shoulders. You couldn't give me an answer.
Well, at that time I couldn't, but I can see the way Darren's running the last 3 or 4 weeks that he was going to get here soon.
Hey, Chris, you know, I come over here a minute. Do you remember what I said to you now before the races tonight?
Yeah, you said you wanted me to win, Darren to win the first one and me to win the second one.
Okay, he's done his thing now. How about you?
Well, I'm going to try.
You're going to try. You've dropped out. Was there any major problems?
No, I just hit the cushion down there and hopped the cushion and smacked the wall. We'll be back.
We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Darren Eash, winning his first ever here at Port Royal.
Okay, Randy, we're back here. That was the post-race interview brought to you by Ryan Distributing up in Burnham, Pennsylvania, and Miller Beer. I'll tell you what, Darren Eash certainly deserved to win a feature here at Port Royal Speedway. He's been trying awfully hard, and luck was with him tonight. Of course, luck is, you know, like they say, where preparedness and opportunity meet, and certainly Darren Eash showed, you know, the fans here tonight that he has what it takes to win features.
Well, overdue is the word that I would have to give to this whole feature tonight here, the first leg of the Twin 20s. And you know, John, I think really the Twin 20s are actually bringing up some upsets. I like the Twin 20s myself.
Yes, I do too. You can just about expect to see anything. And, you know, going back to what I said earlier, I wasn't implying that Darren Eash was lucky tonight.
No.
I mean, he won this feature.
Going away.
That's for sure. What I was trying to say was, you know, he's had a lot of bad luck. You know, he runs strong up front only to have some kind of a problem sideline him. And I guess in contrast to that, tonight everything went well. And nothing prevented Darren Eash from winning the feature here tonight.
Now, wouldn't it be nice if Chris Esch would win the second leg?
That's for sure. Yeah, that would be great. Well, there you can see Darren Eash as he walks back into the pit area, getting a lot of congratulations there from some of his fans. And I'll tell you what, you know, it kind of makes the goosebumps go up your spine whenever a driver is that happy when he wins. You know, a lot of these veterans, they win features. They really, you know, they're happy they win. It gets to be almost like a business for them, and the emotions don't take over, but Darren Eash, certainly an emotional winner here tonight.
And I'd like to see him do a job on the Outlaws. How would that be?
That would be fine, too. I'll tell you, I'm pro Central Pennsylvania.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not afraid to admit it, and I'll tell you what, I think we have just as good a racing here as any part of the country. And we'll be back with the small block modified feature event right after this.